Maga here. I don't know how this is going to work out. Against the Ram, we've seen, as of recently, right, that the Ram can actually win out against this Maga type of setup. You also have this Juno Kiri backline here for Twisted Minds. I mean, this is what's been so good for them when you play these different types of compositions. The only thing that I find quite interesting, right, is Court's going to play the Freya. We haven't seen him play this really the entire series, and typically he always kind of goes towards the Soj. So maybe feels like the Freya here with some of the high ground on this map, Mitch, right? You can kind of like get on top of the buildings and slide down, stay up in the air for a while. Maybe you feel like that's a little bit of an advantage.
Maybe the idea is that bowler shot into Malga is just like a really devastating and something that's pretty key to taking him down. But the game begins with Jaywu on the Tracer being able to drag Funny Astro down, which doesn't really bode well for Twisted Minds at all. I certainly think you've called attention to the most important part of Twisted Minds comp here, Matt. Does Quartz have a massive game on the Freya? Has he been cooking something up for us here? Because Shockwave is more than happy to play either the Soj or the Freya here and has looked good at that first fight.
I'd ideally like to see Quartz just play the Soj, right? I mean, we saw in map 1, right? He was able to just kind of like land these railgun shots just directly into Vestola. This time, Vestola goes over towards that side, not able to survive in that close quarter scenario, taking damage from just about everybody. So the Freya here building up to a bola shot rather quickly. So maybe you feel like even with how Busan went, where you were using that Soj and coming up with some really great results, you can actually just kind of copy that with the Freya here, and maybe just some of these longer sight lines give you an advantage.
Simple has more damage than Quartz right now, just to give you guys an idea of what's going on. Like,
I'm not surprised.
His kunai uptime is ridiculous. And again, he doesn't even have the perk that gives him that extra healing. So, in theory, big investment on the damage side of things here, but Jaywu deals with Funny Astro yet again. Juno is always going to be the target here for the Tracer, but Jaywu ends up being put on the menu himself. Fixer goes down. Quartz has a pretty safe spot to play from now. Bot, though, is moving away from them. That's perhaps something that you need to consider. Simple is solo.
Yeah, but look at this. Why not? A little solo rush here.
We are full send gameplay on this Kiriko. And it buys enough time, Alex, for Quartz to get back into this fight here. Pistola is permanently 30% HP because it's simple, and, well, what goes up must come down.
Nobody to TP to. Nobody to TP to at the time. It looked like, he was maybe kind of looking through, like, the wall there to go towards KSA, but not able to kind of get it in time. So that will be a little bit of a loss here. We'll see if they put some pressure on a KSA, which they do.
Shockwave struggling a little bit with his Freya pressure from that long distance. Brought down by KSA, a little left hook to send him packing. Yubi, though, goes down. Jaywu's having an excellent game so far. And it's annihilation for KSA. Fortunately, the Pulsar torpedoes come in when they're needed, and Simple now actually has to use his left click for a time. Keep KSA standing. Good stall here with his Ramatra, but no one's really matching the presence of Jaywu right now, who's found Simple as well. Cage fight's going to be drawing in this Ramatra now, but the orbital ray keeps KSA standing for a time. Quartz has a point-blank bowler shot there, but Jaywu's pulse bomb accounts for 2. Beautifully done inside the cage fight. Virtus Pro keep their lead up and at a checkpoint to their tally.
And this is starting to look good here for VP. I think if I'm Twisted Minds, okay, so they do go with the Mei. I want to see them go to the Soj. I think Quartz has just been way better on the Sojourn than playing the Freya. Not like he can't play the Freya, but we haven't seen it all this series. He's been phenomenal on the Sojourn. Don't really understand the Freya swap here, maybe for that longer sight lines, but when you see Shockwave playing the Sojourn on the other side, it's a free opportunity for him to do so.
Quartz is topping the lobby in damage. I mean, like, Jaywu has like half of the damage that he has, but has 13 eliminations to Quartz's 6. So finishing off those kills really effectively, it feels like much of Quartz's damage is simply being turned into support player ult charge. Virtus Pro now, it's getting pretty scary. That 100-meter mark is looming, and VP showing no signs of slowing down. It's an overclock in the arsenal for Shockwave, ready to unleash.
And I mean, the bowler shot's pretty decent, right, for some just kind of like AoE damage. I don't think, though, it is as scary as Quartz rounding a corner with an overclock. So now he will finally go over to the Sojourn and see if this makes an impact.
Virtus Pro have been stopped short of triple digits, but they still have a massive lead here. Shockwave forced into a tighter angle. There's Simple yet again, getting onto the kill feed in the best way possible. Shutting a Sojourn down who threatened to ruin this fight. And I told you, Matt, I told you. Mei makes her way in here, just on the opposite side of the scoreboard that I expected to see them. Yubi has decided to pick it up. Still decent catch potential. Onto this Malga, in fairness.
Simple just turns the corner. Almost just kills, like, one-shots Jaywu there. So Jay gonna have a world of trouble here trying to get towards this back line, as he does have a pulse bomb. You do lose Funny Astro here, so I think this could be a fight that VP comes out on top in.
Jay here, he's done enough in this fight, and he's just getting some extra chip damage in the final moments as VP now heading back to threaten the very base of Twisted Minds. Annihilation here for KSA last time looked pretty good. More importantly, Twisted Minds are using their Ramatra as someone who contests well, stays alive for quite some time, and punishes anyone who lingers too close to the front line with that Nemesis form punch. So there's Yubi. Is there a catch there with that May wall? Yes, it's Pistola tucked into that small room. Caught out for the time being, but of course can use his shoulder charge to get out of this position, and frankly is in no mood to move. Yubi's trying to cut off like any of the return fire, maybe shut down some of this healing angle, but you can see where the backlines of VP are located. Pistola has got no risk of falling right now. Pistola saves his escape for the expected annihilation, which doesn't have any target to catch onto to prolong its duration. Soundbarrier comes out from Fixer. He realizes KSA is getting a little bit too close to his backline on the left side of the map, and Shockwave has to double back himself now. Quartz dealt with another pulse. Jay-Woo just dominating, having a great game of 21 eliminations and counting. And Twisted Minds are struggling on Runasapi.
I mean, this looks like two different teams, right? From the first two games. I mean, just absolute stomps in favor of Twisted Minds early on, but here on Runasapi, it has been all VP. An opportunity to complete the map as well here, Mitch, as Twisted Minds going to bring in a Lucio here, and Yubi going to go to the Tracer. Really, the only difference now, you're looking at this like Maga versus Ram.
Early recall there for Jay-Woo. That's going to buy Quartz a heck of a lot of room, and he knows it. And just Shockwave just pees into the side room. Big overclock hit on towards Yubi. Galado is felled by Quartz. Both Sojourns giving as good as they get here, and Fixer is down. Quartz has accounted for all of the supports of Virtus Pro. And they will be able to fight their way out of what looks like a compromising situation. But it is about a 90-meter difference between these teams. Twisted Minds still searching for their first checkpoint now. Below 30% game time remains on Runasapi.
And you see there towards the end, obviously we're very late into the game at the moment, but like Quartz putting that damage into Vestola, just pumping it in, it's a huge difference maker. But whether you're on the difference between the Sojourn and the Freya, so I think being on the Freya for so long definitely hurt them early on.
Shockwave struggling here. Quartz just gets a big amount of damage at the start of the fight. The healing doesn't come remotely soon enough. Pulse here for Jay-Woo. Yet again, a big opportunity. Maybe hoping to combine it with a cage fight with everyone tied together. So here he'll maintain it. Virtus probably a lot of buffer, a lot of ground to give its house money that they're more than willing to pay with right now in order to build that big bank of ultimates and get right back down Twisted Minds alley on this map. Pistola plays the corner here. It's a strong place for the Malga to be set up, and that's denied for now by the Vortex.
I mean, if VP were to lose this one, I mean, this would be a brutal loss, right? I mean, you're going to have cage fight here, cage fight pulse bomb, but when that cage fight comes through, you're going to have this annihilation to work with. That is a huge pick-off, though, with the pulse bomb, getting rid of Quartz.
It's where Jay-Woo's hit a pulse bomb every single time he's been able to develop it, and a great target to find. A Sojourn at the start of the fight. These Twisted Minds damage is really just down to Yubi and KSA, and the former is dragged off the map by Fixer. Annihilation here, not effective. Pretty underwhelming, all things considered. Twisted Minds don't decide to commit a sound barrier into that engagement. They'll probably have to use it just to get back into the map. They're running out of time here to stake their claim to Runasapi.
No, I mean, Jay-Woo, I think just playing on a different level, like you mentioned, feels like he has not had a pulse bomb that didn't connect with a player, and then also being able to deal with Quartz. It feels like a lot of times out of the spawn, not giving him that space to dominate like he was in these early maps.
Here's the rush here for Virtus Pro. Twisted Minds reciprocating, but Pistola already treading the orange pathway straight in Twisted Minds' direction. It's a sound barrier from extremely high up, Buddy Astro. That was in the stratosphere, brother, but it comes down in a timely enough fashion to give Twisted Minds the edge in this fight. With Pistola taken down early, he got in their face. The damage was there in spades for Quartz, and now an overclock is just around the corner. Still, it's going to have to be a pretty magical run for Twisted Minds to take this map away. In all likelihood, folks, we're heading to King's Road.
So, you know, Jay-Woo on a flank here. Maybe there's an opportunity for him to get a pulse bomb, but you know, if they're able to get a pick off here, right, for Twisted Minds, you would start to come up on some of these ultimates. Not saying they make this like crazy run back, but it would start to get a little bit more interesting.
Absolutely, a little bit more dangerous for Virtus Pro, were that to be the case. Still very low here. Gala and Fixer. Milano really trying to live up to his name. Pistola is going to be fighting fit, can just duck into that side corner here. So we'll go back to a neutral situation where Pistola can contest from a safe position into the back line. Shockwave tried to get Yubi though. Falls to Pistola. Definitely trying to pressure the main body of Virtus.pro there, maybe working against him. And it's going to be KSA playing the objective here, trying to tempt Virtus.pro to give him a straight up fight. Hussain's looking for an objective here, of course, which will mean the butt scratch takes up a bit of extra time and will allow VP to get in position. But they're in a bit of an odd spot right now. Very disparately spread across the map, trying to return to play that objective. Pistola charges on him. Magala under pressure. He doesn't know where from. I think it was a disruptor shot. They've tickled at him, and now out of the annihilation. Virtus.pro have to retreat. Still no checkpoint just yet for Twisted Minds, and here comes Shockwave. Headshot. Multiple of them off that railgun, and that's going to be enough. Jwoo chimes in yet again. A ridiculous tracer showing 36 eliminations.